Triangle of Sadness. I like this movie because we had a reversal of the Filipino lady. She becomes the alpha, and she starts using the guy, whatever his name was. It's been a while since I've seen this movie. I'm kind of late on these reviews, but that was an interesting dilemma, right? Dynamic that she's taking advantage of him and using him for sex, and I guess that's it, really. I'm not sure what else, but and the girlfriend Yaya, she clocks it because she's like, why would she want you? Because she didn't even like you. You like challenged her authority or whatever the fuck, and you lied, you ate the crackers, and me and the other girl, we went to go sleep with her in there, and they're like, why would she want this young man to go lay with her, an older woman, in the lifeboat? And some people start making fun of it too. They start poking fun, and he says to her, why can we just be open about it at this point? Fuck it. I mean, why are we beating around the bush? And then Yaya kisses the guy. This is the guy that hit on her earlier in the film. That her and that Yaya, not Yaya, the boyfriend, and oh my god, who was the other one? The boyfriend and the rich Russian guy were looking at them and laughing, doing a little commentary banter on the whole situation. But because he was lonely, he had all his money, he's rich, and he said there was someone supposed to come with him, but they end up not coming with him, and so he had a beer, and he said, I gotta muster the courage. I think the Russian guy's wife died. I think he died. I watched someone else's review of this, and someone said that I interpreted that woman to be the daughter, right? That the older lady, of course, is his wife, but the younger girl was the daughter. But somebody said that was the mistress. Like, oh, he got his wife and he got his mistress on the same, and they're right next to each. Like, he's in the middle, but I don't know. To me, it made more sense that would be the daughter. That would be his daughter. Woody Harrelson, his character does not survive the sinking, the terrorist attack right on the ship. Maybe it's for the better, I don't know, but I like this character. I like that he didn't like fine dining. That's the scene I'll always remember when, and because they lift the thing up and they say like, oh, this is what we have, the meal, and it's these fancy hors d'oeuvre de la Home, squid and a bed of seaweed with condiment, all these kind of, and they use French words and it sounds fancy, and they say for the chef we have a cheeseburger and fries. It's like, wow. Very American, because he's American, right? That's not the actor, but the character themselves in the film, they're American, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm not a fan of fine dining, I never liked that shit, so cheeseburger, fries, that's good, I like that, it's classic. What else was I thinking of? I was thinking of something in my head, and it's not escaping me. And they get sea poisoning, and apparently this happens. It actually was the same lady, was the Russian guy's wife that wanted everybody to have fun on the ship. And I saw someone's review. I think they did a nice study on how it's sort of abusing her perceived status, her being a wealthy person. But the chef, he even says, he's like, oh, we're preparing the dinner right now, it's seafood, you can't just leave it out. But he's like, no, everybody's gotta go get the swim trunks and swim off the pool, and all the crew must do this, we must have fun because the guest demands it. And I like that there's even classism among the crew. Like, a lot of the crew that does, and I mean, I feel like I even saw this at our cruise ship, when I went on the cruise ship. A lot of the crew that they do the cleaning, they'll do the stuff with the maintenance, they're the Filipinos, the Filipino crew, maybe other ethnic groups. They're the ones doing these kind of because then the job of being the waiter, the job of being the face to be seen for customer service, it's all Europeans. Is it there's a clear sort of distinction, and they're good looking, right? We want people that look good, physically attractive, And then everybody else can be bound there. They can just do all the other stuff. There's even a guy that we see that we get a new character introduced actually with the shipwreck, and the guy that we get introduced in that one scene, they thought he was a pirate. They were like the survivors said, "Oh, he's a pirate. He's one of the guys that attacked us." And he makes a point. It's like, no, I'm not a pirate. I work on this ship. I'm a crew member. I work on the engine. This guy, he didn't have much of a reason to be up in the surface. He was working down, and they're like, oh my god, that's why we never seen, because he's a black guy, you know, and that's why we never seen him. That's why we never saw you, because you were down and below, and you were working and stuff, right, down there. But because I watched someone else's review of this, I think I watched like 3 or 4 people's review of this film, and yeah, I think they hit on. And I guess I'll bring up the cruise because I brought it up. But there was this guy. He was from the Philippines too, and he has a background in theater, and he even mentioned when I applied to MSc, I put in that I wanted to do, that I have a background in theater. That's originally what he applied to, and I guess how these people do it. When you apply, it's open, and you don't know where they're gonna put your ass on that ship, right? They don't know where they're gonna put you, and so they put him like I think he worked in the deli. He worked at the deli and the server serving the food in the deli. That's where they put him, and it's like he's like I don't know why, because like you say he's a performer. He's like professionally with this. He's done it. He's got like a repertoire behind him of being a professional actor and performer for the stage, and that's what he was looking to do on the ship. Okay, I'll perform on the boat for these people. But at last, they didn't take him on, right? They didn't take him on. They pushed him aside and put him to do the sort of guest service, the waitering, right? And that's another thing, with a lot of everyone that was and participated in the talent show were Filipinos, and they all worked in some sort of the service. Like a lot of them did the food or the cleaning. There was one guy that he had something different actually. He did, what was it again? What was it? He worked on like the exclusive selling you shit. These ships, we gotta hustle here. We gotta try to sell you some jewelry and shit. It was Deck 5. It was Deck 5 that they had this, and they were trying to sell you something. But yeah, that was the MSC cruise. But back to Triangle of Sadness. I like the beginning of the film with the guy. He's like, Balenciaga, H&M. They're smiling. Balenciaga, y'all look serious. That was cute. I thought that was nice. That little scene. It's because our guy is attractive. He's a male model, and then the woman, she's also attractive. They're both good-looking people. They're models. But how do you call and it does seem like, I don't know, their relationship is weird. It feels like maybe they're gonna break up in that one scene, because it's kind of scenes towards the beginning of the film, and I think other people's reviews kind of summed it better than what I can. But their relationship is it toxic? I don't know. It's just sort of, but they are together. They're still together, and are they using each other for each other's careers? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. The relationship dynamics, it seems interesting to me with this couple, but they are young, so I guess give them some. So we know Yaya makes more money than him, and I think that's in general, right? The men get paid less than the women in general. That's a general thing. But yeah, she makes more money than him, but he's always like covering. He said like traditional gender roles. I'm covering stuff, and it's like, you make more money than me. Why can't you cover it? He said he doesn't want a traditional relationship. He wants to follow the traditional roles, but she wants to. But he's like, it's not convenient. Why we have to be doing these convenient roles, these traditional roles? It's not convenient. It's not even convenient for me. You make more money than me. Shit, you should be paying more, your fair share, carrying her own weight. And I think when they get stranded on the island, and he gets to be sort of the Yeah, and so another person mentioned it. It's kind of a reversal, right? Where women can use their bodies for their advantage, right? In this sense, and not that men can, right? But it's more often, kind of men are the ones to feed into this. But we had this lady that he's this attractive man. She likes him, and so this guy, it's like the roles reverse, and now he can use his body, right, to gain favor. He's feeding Yaya, right? He's getting her like pretzel crackers and stuff because, listen, she letting me sleep in there. She got some food in there, water, and I fuck her sometime. She gives me this, and I can give it to you. And Yaya knows this, but it's like, I guess she's like, don't show me that this is happening. I guess it's obvious, but like, I still don't want to know because I'm too pissed. Which I guess tells you that maybe there are some feelings there, right? That they do have a sort of, and then even when, and this is also funny, when they go, we find out that the island that they're on is not abandoned. It's not a secluded, isolated, well, maybe it's secluded and isolated, but it's not uninhabited. That's the word. It's not an uninhabited island. There is people on the island, actually, right? And we're like somewhere in Africa for sure, and there's like this guy, they're benders. There's these guys that are wandering around the beach. And presumably it's not, I guess it's not high traffic, but maybe there's a group, maybe some tourists came in recently, so they people know, oh, okay, let's go down to that beach, see if we find some people, because some of them just walked up in this bitch, and we can start selling them some of this shit that we got, and kind of hustle for the money. And the lady that was mute and deaf. No, she wasn't mute. She wasn't deaf. She had a stroke. She wasn't deaf or mute. She had a stroke, and she could only say with the one word. She couldn't walk. That was another thing too. She couldn't walk, and I think this is all a result of the stroke. But what do you call that lady? She was the first one to see, but she can't tell the others, hey. But then even before that, it happens at the same time. Basically, Yaya discovers like, oh my God, there's like a little resort. And it's like it looks like fancy. It looks like this like an upper scale kind of result thing. There's nobody there, but there's this elevator that takes you. So maybe it's like the building somewhere else, or, and you can say, oh, you can take the elevator to their own private little secluded beach if you want. And the Filipino bitch, she grabs a rock. She's gonna like kill Yaya, because on this island, and that's another thing. There's a kind of classist element to this, because in this film, the Filipino lady, she's the dominant one, right? Before, and we did see her in passing. Actually, we saw this character in passing later earlier in the film. We saw her in passing. What do you call? She. In this environment, what the situation that we have right now, she is the dominant person. She can call the shots, and you can't tell her shit. You can't tell her no. Like, I'm the alpha, But on the ship, she was a lower class worker, right? She was on that low end. Even the other lady, it was the lady with the bleached blonde hair, the Swede lady. I think the guy is from Sweden or Norway. It's like Norwegian or Swedish, right? And some of the actors are from there too. You can hear their accent. I think maybe it's this lady, maybe Danish actually. But what do you call? There's even a point where she tells the Filipino lady, like, you have to listen to me. She's like, why? I gotta listen to you? Because on the ship she would listen to her, right? She was a higher rank, but on this island, like, you ain't shit. You like all these other motherfuckers. So you can't tell me all this bullshit. Like, I gotta listen to you. I gotta share the food, and you gotta start calling shots. And this is how it goes. This is how it is. No, you gotta shut the fuck up and get in line, But like everybody that had like the wealth status, or they were being pampered, like, this is everybody got to survive here. So now we're all on an equal footing, and nobody ain't better than nobody, except for the Filipino lady, that she's got the resources. She can call it shot. She can put herself in the driver's seat and say, like, I can tell you, like, no, you gotta do that, and you gotta do this, and what else? What was I thinking in my head? The Filipino lady. Okay, she's gonna kill Yaya, because if Yaya tells everybody, then she loses this. She loses. Well, she's gonna lose that anyway, basically. So she'll kill Yaya for no reason, but she doesn't know that. But it's like, wow, I gotta go back to my life, and I guess the kid, he's not gonna be with her. It's like, I will give her resources, but she liked what she had going on, actually, and she can catch. Not only does she have the crackers and stuff, but she can catch fish. She knows how to. She can hold up herself. So her being in this situation wasn't too drastic for her. Everybody else, they can't fish, they can't fend for themselves. They need her. Right? Now with the rescue, she won't be needed. Won't be needed anymore. Everybody's got to go back to reality, and who knows? I'm not sure how long they've been destitute for, but they'll have to go back. I guess I'll do one more. So look, I'm looking across the street. It looks like the guy it looked like he had a camera and he was filming like the group walking in. Like, okay, maybe it's like a musician or something. I don't know, but what was I thinking in my head? I'll touch on this. The British couple that they got their fortune, and how they made their millions was they made weapons of mass destruction. Which is just to say, they made weapons. They made grenades, they made bombs, pistols, I guess. Some shit, they say it in the film what it was, but I like when one of the terrorists throws a grenade, and the lady picks it up, and she's like, yo, this looks like one of ours. And then it hits her, oh shit, it's a fucking grenade! And that's when the shit kicks off. But we see it from a distance. We don't get to see the shit. We even get a big explosion. It's like, oh shit. And it's divided into chapters, right? But what was I thinking in my head? I like that how that came full circle. The creators of that one bomb end up being killed by their own bomb. But they lived to old age. They were elderly. They must have been like in their 80s or something. They're frail. They were quite up there. So it's like, you had a good run, didn't you? I mean, you made all this money. You're on this cruise with rich people. The boyfriend, the British guy, he got jealous of the one worker the one time because Yaya like smiled and waved to him, and he waved because he has his shirt off and he's got a really hairy chest, and Yaya like, oh, look at that, this guy is so hairy, wow. And he was an attractive guy actually. So yeah, she was waving to him, and he saw that. But he made a point, like, if I was waving to a woman, it was young, it looked good, you'd be pissed, you'd be jealous. So what the fuck? And you waving to this guy, yeah, I don't like it. What the fuck? Why are you waving to them? Because I'm right next to you. And I think I believe she even acknowledged, yeah, I'll be jealous. But I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. So you can do it. I'm going to be a hypocrite, and I'm going to be pissed. Yeah, I am. I'm still going to wave it because I want to wave to him. I want to wave to him. But he complains about this, and then later in the film, I think he actually looks like he's sad that he got him kicked out. Like, I guess I didn't want him to lose his job because I just ruined his livelihood. And but then like some other movie reviewer that I watched said, like, this actually was a blessing. Like, secretly, actually, this was a blessing. This was actually a blessing because subsequently, he ends up, anybody who like got off the ship before the terrorist attack, I think he was the only one. It's like, okay, actually, subsequently, you got to live because you got off the fucking ship, and now you won't get killed by, like, whoever is coming. But yeah, I like this movie, Triangle of Sadness. I knew when I saw the trailer, I was like, I'm gonna like this film. It seems like a film that I would like, and I did like it. So there concludes my movie review that I waited so long to make.